Okay. We have completed QR decomposition. The next, some basic definitions we'll see, and then we'll go to least approximation, least square approximation. It's one way of solving the system of equations, right? Okay. What's that definition? So you are having two inner product spaces V and W. So there is a linear transformation defined in between them. I think hope you remember what is a linear transformation. So that linear transformation we can call it as either isometry or orthogonal transformation. Either you can call it isometry or orthogonal transformation if it preserves the lengths of the vectors. That is, see, in V, suppose if you consider any vector x, in W automatically, since t is taking x to t of x, automatically the vector here is t of x. So the length of x and length of t of x should be the same. That way your t should be there. It should carry vectors of what? Suppose if this vector is having some fixed length, it should carry this vector to another vector whose length is also the same as x. So that way this t is doing. So t is a linear transformation. It preserves the norms of both the vectors. So it's called isometry or orthogonal transformation, right? Okay, one more theorem is there. It also says something about it. Let T from V to W be a linear transformation, again on an inner product space V to W. Both are inner product spaces. Then T is called an isometry if and only if T preserves inner products. See, not only it preserves the lengths, but also it preserves inner product. See, for example, V is an inner product, W is an inner product, and suppose X and Y are two vectors here, and inner product between X and Y is inner product of X comma Y. So here the corresponding vectors of T of X and T of Y, and inner product between them is T of X comma T of Y. So what they are saying is this value and this value are one and the same. If you consider any two vectors here and the corresponding two vectors there, the inner product between the two vectors here in the domain is the same as the inner product between the corresponding vectors in the range. So that way, again it's an isometric orthogonal transformation. So this will happen for any set of vectors. Arbitrarily, if you choose any two vectors, this will happen. Inner product is also what? Preserved. Next, another one more corollary out of that theorem, that A be an n by n matrix, a square matrix of order n, then A is an orthogonal matrix. I think you remember what is an orthogonal matrix? What is an orthogonal matrix? Hello. Yeah, what is an orthogonal matrix here? A matrix in which the column vectors are what? Orthogonal to each other. So what is the speciality of an orthogonal matrix? Transpose of the matrix will be is equal to inverse of the matrix, or I should say the inverse of the matrix is nothing but its transpose. You might have done this during your ADD course, right? Okay. So then A is an orthogonal matrix if and only if A is itself A acts from R power n to R power n. So what does it do? As a linear transformation, right, preserves the dot product. That is Ax dot Ay will be equal to x dot y. Ax dot Ay equal to x dot y, right? See, R power n to R power n. So here two vectors you are considering x and y, right? So what does the linear transformation do? X takes it to Ax. Y is taken to Ay. So X is a what? It's from R power n means it will be what type of vector? R power n, what type of vector it will be?
Row vector.
It's a row vector. You can take like this 1 by n. And A is what? No vector, it's a column vector. Sorry, it should be a column vector. Column vector. A is an n by n matrix. X is a n by 1 matrix. So if you multiply again, you will get an n by 1 matrix. That is again a vector of r power n. Right? So what they are saying is dot product between x and y. It's actually what inner product here. Standard inner product. So dot product between x and y is same as dot product between ax and ay. Right? So indirectly, this matrix A acts as a orthogonal transformation. It is actually a linear transformation here. I should call this as T. What does this T do? T of x is nothing but A times x. Right? But they are calling the T as A here. So for better understanding, you can replace this by T. T is a linear transformation from r power n to r power n such that any vector x in r power n is taken to again a vector in r power n this way, ax, because a is n by n and x is n by 1. Check. Okay. So again one more corollary. Again it speaks about isometry. A linear transformation T from V to W is an isometry or orthogonal transformation. If, see here, what does this mean? Here V, here W. V has two vectors x and y. Okay. There is a way you can say what is d of x comma y, distance between two vectors x and y. What is that actually? What is distance between x and y? You have studied that in your module 5, right? It is nothing but norm of x minus y. Forgot. Okay. So distance between x and y, and here x will be mapped onto t of x, y to t of y. So what is the distance between t of x and t of y? Norm of t of x minus t of y. Distance between t of x and t of y is same as distance between x and y. So whenever a linear transformation is an orthogonal transformation, many things happen. It preserves the norms of each of the vector. It preserves the inner products. It preserves the distance between any two vectors in a particular vector space. So many things happen because of this isometry, right? Okay. So you remember what is this? Cos theta. What is the angle between two vectors? You remember or not? Angle between two vectors, how do you calculate? Cos theta is
Cos theta.
as A dot B divided by modulus of A into modulus of B. This is what? The definition what you have seen in physics. So what is A dot B? Here it is nothing but inner product. So inner product between, if you want I can write like this, inner product between A comma B divided by modulus should be replaced by norm A, norm B. So instead of A and B, here they have taken X and X. Right? Very important. What they are saying is, see, V is a vector space, W is another vector space, or even you can call inner product space both, X and Y, T of X, T of Y. So whenever T is a isometry, it's an isometry or an orthogonal transformation which takes x to t of x, y to t of y. In that case, angle between x and y is same as angle between t of x and t of y. So I am adding one more thing now. Even it preserves the angles between the two vectors whenever the linear transformation is an orthogonal transformation. Hope you understand. My voice is clear. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Check. Okay, I'll proceed. This and all you know already. Just we'll see. Don't get confused. For any m by n matrix A, m by n matrix, null space of A and the row space of A are orthogonal in R power n. Null space and row space. Okay. Similarly, the null space of A transpose and the column space of A are orthogonal in R power n. Don't get confused. Just read this definition. That's all. That much is enough. Next, one important thing. least square solution. So just read this sentence and tell me you remember this or not. We have studied. System of equations Ax equal to B will have a solution only when B is in the column space of A. You remember this or not? A solution will be there only when B belongs to the column space of A. Could you recollect this? Okay, shall we take one system of equation and try to understand? See, for example, A1x plus A2y plus, I'll take two equations, okay, equal to K1. Okay, B1x plus B2y is equal to K2. So how to write this in the form of AX? A1, B1, A2, B2 into XY is equal to K1, K2. So this is your B. B is K1, K2. What they are saying is B1, this B should be in the column space of A. What is the column space of A? How do you find? This is a matrix. Column space of A means what? Each column,
non-zero columns.
Each column should be multiplied with some constant, right? Should be multiplied with some constant. That is what you get. A1 C1 plus A2 C2
B1 C1
equal to
B2.
A1, correct? B1 C1. If you don't want, I'll take this as X here. Instead of C1 C2, here I'm taking X and Y. So what is the column space? Set of all linear combinations of the columns, right? So for that constant C1 and C2, I'm taking X and Y. Right? So if you add these two, what do you get? A1x plus A2y, B1x plus B2y. That is actually equal to K1, B1x plus B2y equal to K2. So that itself shows that B is in the column space of A. Only if this happens, then I can say that this particular system has a solution. You can observe, right? This is in the column space. You can multiply. If you multiply this by X and this by Y, okay, it should be that K1 and K2. Your first value is K1, second value. Only then the system will have a unique solution. Otherwise, you won't have a unique solution. You won't have a solution, first of all. So, please look into it. Don't get confused. Just a theoretical thing. See, a system AX equal to B of linear equations will have at least one solution. Right? Maybe infinite number of solutions is also possible, either unique or infinitely many. If and only if B belongs to the column space of E. In this case, such a solution is unique. When does the solution is unique? Null space is trivial. There should not be any null space. Null space should be only the zero vector. Zero solution should be there. Other than that, nothing should not be there. Dimension of null space should be what? Zero. Then I can say unique solution is there. All the three equations or what? Linearly independent. So it leads to a linearly independent solution. Okay. So what happens if B does not belong to column space of A? B does not belong to column space of A means I cannot write C. A1 B1 into X, A2 B2 into Y. This is not equal to what? Your K1 K2. Right? This is not equal to your K1 K2. That means this is not in the column space of A. If this is not, no, then the system is not consistent. You won't have solution. Right? Only if this is equal to, then I can say the system is consistent. Maybe it may have unique or infinitely many. That is different. But at least it will have a solution. So if this is not happening, what should I do? Right? That is my question. For that only we are going for least square solution. We are going to find some solution. Okay. So see, now the problem is what happens if B does not belongs to column space of A, so that Ax equal to B is inconsistent. It does not have a solution. So the best way what we can do is we need to find a vector x naught in R power n, so that see I need to solve this here. So I need to solve for x. But the thing is my B is not in the column space. So the system become inconsistent. So I'm trying to find at least some value of x, says x naught, in such a way that Ax not equal to B. Okay, Ax not equal to B. That way it will happen. Or at least the distance between Ax naught and B. Or if you subtract Ax naught and B, the difference is very minimum. Right? Not exactly. You cannot find an exact solution. At least some solution which is nearer to the actual solution. So I am in search of x naught in such a way that Ax equal to B will have at least an approximate solution. Okay. So I'm not going to tell all the procedure. Directly we'll go to the theorem. We are going to use the projection concept, but I'll go to the theorem. This theorem. So what I said so far, the main thing is the system, linear system Ax equal to B will have a solution only when B is in the column space of A. Right? Suppose B is not in your column space of A, it's very obvious that Ax equal to B will be inconsistent. So what should I do? So I'll be trying to find out some x naught such that Ax naught is very much closer to C. That means what? The difference between Ax naught and B is very minimal. Ax not equal to B, I cannot find out. At least I'll try to find something very closer to the actual solution. So for that I'm making use of this theorem. See, let A be an m by n matrix, right? Let B belongs to R power n, any vector, right? So any vector x belong to R power n. What is the meaning? I am in search of a solution to this. A is an m by n matrix, B is an element of R power n. Okay, I want to find x. Okay, so what I am doing, then a vector x naught is a least square solution of Ax equal to B. Least square solution, and it's a solution which is approximate, right? Of Ax equal to B, if and only if x naught is a solution of this. So instead of solving for this, I'll try to solve this. If your x naught is a solution of this, of course it is a solution of Ax equal to B. So now hereafter I'll try to solve this. A transpose Ax equal to A transpose B. Instead of solving Ax equal to B. Right? Okay, please take down this question. Find all the least square solutions. This question. And determine the orthogonal projection. I'll tell you that later. You do this first. Take down this question till here.
You know that one? What is first part? Hers, you know or not? Very good. Akshat Ali. Hello?
Shall we proceed? Find all the least square solution to Ax equal to B. Tell me what is A? A is equal to 1 minus 2, 1.
2 minus 3 minus 1.
Okay.
Minus 1, 2.
Minus 1, 1.
3
3
minus
minus 5, 0. Check. And I need B also, 1, 0, 1, 0. Check.
0.
Check. Okay. Okay, wow. So how to solve this? Okay, we need to solve actually. Find
What is that?
least square solution for Ax equal to B.
First part is what?
Okay. So to solve first, A transpose into Ax equal to A transpose into B. Instead of solving this, I'm going to solve this. Okay, find what is A transpose into A. Do it.
You know or not? It is Raja.
Okay, please multiply these two matrices A transpose into A.
Consider Laura.
1 plus 4, 5 plus 1, 6 plus 9, 15. 3 by 4 into 4 by 3. So finally you'll get a 3 by 3 matrix. Okay, then this into second row. Minus 2, minus 3, minus 5, minus 6, minus 15. So minus 21. Third value. Minus 1, 1, minus 2, minus 1, minus 3. See whether my values are correct, whatever I am filling. Are you all doing? Minus 2, minus 6, minus 8, minus 9, minus 15. So minus 24. Okay, then 4 plus 9, 13, 14 plus 25, 39. Minus 2 plus 3, 1, 1 plus 2, 3. Check whether these values are right, yeah? 15 minus 21 minus 3, minus 24, 39, 3. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you all doing or simply saying yes? 1 minus 2 minus 1 minus 2, so minus 3. Minus 2 plus 3, so 1, 1 plus 2, 3. Then 1 plus 1, 2 plus 4, 6. Check whether this matrix is correct.
Ma'am, isn't it first row, second column minus 24?
First row, second column,
Should be minus 24.
minus 24. One minute. Minus 2, minus 6, minus 8, minus 9. This one into second column. Minus 2, minus 6, minus 8, minus 9, minus 9, okay, minus 24, correct. All other values, 15, 20, minus 25, minus 3, minus 24, 39, 3. Sorry, okay, all other things are right. Now find A transpose into B. A transpose into B.
Can you show the matrix, please?
I opened the camera because now silent person. You will see my face. Yeah, are you saying? My face. because
Taken down.
so
1, 2 minus 1, 3, minus 2 minus 3, 1 minus 5, 1 minus 1,
what is going on?
2, 0,
I don't know because of
into B. B is 1, 0, 1, 0.
they asked me and did not reply. And they got that time and they won't do that. But somehow they replied.
Minus 2 plus 1, minus 1.
Those who not
Check whether A transpose B is correct. 0 minus 1, 3.
whole class. 9 replied.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, okay. Now we have to solve A transpose AX is equal to A transpose B. So what is A transpose A? We got some matrix, right? 15 minus 24 minus 3. Then minus 24 39 3. Minus 24 39 3. Minus 3 3 6. Into x. Shall I take that x as x1, x2, x3? And A transpose into B is 0 minus 1 3. So this we need to solve here. So what you can do is we can take this first, we can go for Gaussian elimination, right? I'll take a big matrix like this. Together, augmented matrix will take.
So definitely when doing assignment, you will see your marks. I'm starting. 0.25. Don't reply that time. Don't ask me that time. Sir, why I submitted all assignment, whatever is there.
Check my 15 minus 24 minus 3 minus 24 39 3. Okay. So shall we apply Gaussian elimination so that this becomes much simpler?
Like that.
So if we want, we can do one thing. Now we have taken the entire equation, right? Augmented matrix we have taken. So equation is not going to get disturbed by doing any row operation. Shall we divide the entire first row by 3? First row by 3, 5 minus 8 minus 1 0. Entire row here also you have to do. Second row also by 3, so minus 8 13 1 minus 1 by 3. Third row by 3.
Divided the all frequency into two equal parts. One is known as the division or running average.
Okay. So what is your aim? I have to make this entry 0 and also this entry 0.
Average or trends.
Okay. 5 minus 8 minus 1 0.
Just move down when I started.
5 minus 8 minus 1 0. Okay. Second row what you do here? Please carefully shall we do? Second row. Keep this. First row I should make some change. What change you can make? Divide by 5 and multiply by 8. So this becomes plus 8 and this becomes divide by 5 multiply by 8. So minus 64 by 5. Divide by 5 multiply by 8 minus 8 by 5. 0. Add what happens? 0. 13 is actually 65 by 5. Yeah? So 1 by 5.
Ma'am, what did we do in the last line?
What I am doing is, here I am going to apply Gaussian elimination. So minus 8 and minus 1 has to be made 0. So how to make that minus 8 0? Your first row should be made as what? 8 by 5 times R1.
Yes.
So
Ma'am, I'm
R2
asking
goes
why
to R
we used
plus.
augmented.
Because see, I want to solve this system here. But when I'm trying to solve the system, I thought let me apply Gaussian elimination, reduce the system and then proceed. Otherwise, we won't be able to find whether all the three equations are linearly independent. Only after Gaussian elimination we can confirm that these three equations are linearly independent. Either the solution will be a unique solution or infinitely many solutions. So that can be confirmed only after Gaussian elimination. Is it clear? Hello. Oi, what you people are doing? Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I have done to the first row. So my R2 goes to R2 plus 8 by 5 times R1. So this is your R2. This is your 8 by 5 times R1. Check whether this is correct. Multiplying this by 8 by 5. So 8. This by 8 by 5 minus 64. Okay, correct. Now add 0.
Minus 3 by 5.
Minus 3 by 5. Minus 1 by 3. So 0, 1 by 5 minus 3 by 5. 0, 1 by 5 minus 3 by 5. I think minus 1 by 3. Correct. Then last row, what you can do? Third row, minus 1 has to be made 0, right? How to make third minus 1 0? R3 goes to R3?
R1 plus 5 R3.
R3 plus 1 by 5 R1. Correct? So what is 1 by 5 R1?
Ma'am,
1
can we interchange the
minus
row?
8 by 5. Huh?
Ma'am, can we
Oh,
interchange?
interchanging the row. Okay, no issue. Because it is after all equations, right? Interchanging rows means interchanging the equations. Okay, that is also possible. But anyway, I have completed. No issue now. So what I have done? I am dividing this entire first row by 5. Third row I am taking as such. 0 minus 3 by 5. 9 by 5. 1. 0 minus 3 by 5. 9 by 5. 1. 0 minus 3 by 5, 9 by 5, 1. Okay, next. What should be made 0? This has to be made 0, right? Still Gaussian elimination is not over. So what should be done?
R3 goes to R3 plus 3R2.
R3 goes to R3 plus 3R2, right? So 0. Again, if you multiply this by 3 and add, this becomes 0. Again, if you multiply this by 3 and add with this, it becomes 0. So finally, you are left with only 2 equations here. So now, A transpose AX equal to A transpose B becomes, it changes now, right? I have tried like this. This into so what are the reduced equations? Only 2 equations are there. So what type of solution you expect? Wait, what type of solutions you expect here? What type of solutions you expect? How many variables are there? How many variables are there?
3.
3 variables. But how many equations are there? Non-zero equations.
2.
2. So that
No
means
solution.
that means
No solution does not exist.
oh, solution does not exist for that.
Infinite.
Huh? First module you completely forgot. 2 variables, 3 variables, but 2 equations. How many solutions will be there?
Ma'am, infinite solutions?
Infinitely many solutions. Infinitely many solutions. Right. One thing you can do, you can assume x3 as something. Right? What I do is let x3 is equal to t. So what about your second equation will give you 1 by 5 x2 1 by 5 x2 minus 3 by 5 t. T, yeah, is equal to minus 1 by 3. So that means x2 by 5 is equal to minus 1 by 3 plus 3 by 5t. So x2 is multiplied by 5, minus 5 by 3 plus 3t. x3 is t, x2 is this. So we are in, we have to solve x1. So 5x1 minus 8x2, 5x1 minus 8x2 minus x3 equal to 0. So 5x1 equal to 8x2 plus x3, or 5x1 is equal to 8 into minus 5 by 3 plus 3t plus t. That is minus 40 by 3, 24t plus t, 25t. Yeah. So x1 is divide this by 5, minus 8 by 3 plus 5t. So everything is in terms of t. So obvious that it has an infinite solution, right? So shall we write the solution now? 1 minute. Okay. So x1, x2, x3 is equal to minus 8 by 3 plus 5t
minus 5 by 3 plus 3t.
Okay, minus 5 by 3 plus 3t, then t, such that t is any real value. So infinitely many solution, right? Okay, well, got it? So to find a particular solution, if you want, you can fix some value for t. Okay, to fix a solution, right? Infinitely many solutions are there. Many values are close to that. So what I am to fix a solution, let t is equal to 1. So what happens? x1, x2, x3 becomes, you take a t equal to 1, what happens? 5 minus 8 by 3, 3 minus 5 by 3, then 1. Yeah, what is 5 minus 8 by 3? 7 by 3, 4 by 3.
4 by 1.
So this is one solution which is closer to that which satisfies Ax equal to b. One closer solution. If you change the value of t, accordingly you will get many, infinitely many solutions you can have. So this is one least square solution. Try to understand this. There is one more question is being asked. Determine the orthogonal projection BC of B into the column space of A. First you try to understand this, then I will do that. See, so what is the procedure we are following? We are in the process of solving Ax equal to B, right? But we have understood that directly it is not possible, right? So what we are doing is, because why it's not possible? Because B is not in the column space of A. So what we are doing is, instead of solving that, we are trying to find a solution of A transpose Ax equal to A transpose B. That is the thing we are doing. First I am finding A transpose A, then A transpose B, right? That as an equation, then solving it. So for solving, we are taking the help of what Gaussian elimination. I am finding the augmented matrix corresponding to this equation. After completing Gaussian elimination, there is a confirmation that the third row is a linear combination of first and second row. So third row becomes a 0 row. Just I'm leaving that, considering only the first and second row. So left out with two equations but three variables. So it is very obvious that the system will have infinitely many solutions. So we are trying to find that. After finding, just assuming one value of t or substituting one value of t, you are getting one solution, least square solution for this equation. So that one part of the question is over. What is the second part? Find the orthogonal projection BC of B. Okay, I'll tell you what is that. It is simply AX0. 1 minute. It is simply AX0 here. Can you see here? This is orthogonal projection, right? Why orthogonal projection we are finding? Actually, the orthogonal projection of any vector, you remember this? The distance between a fixed vector x and all the vectors on this line. Which will be closest to x? Simply the orthogonal projection of x on this particular line will give you one value. That will be very closest to x. Okay, so AX0 will be closest to which value? Orthogonal projection of B. That's the concept we are using. We'll find orthogonal projection. 1 minute. Is right, first of all? Correct. Orthogonal projection is simply A times X. We got one solution, right? Simply that. The orthogonal projection is BC is equal to A times X0 if you want. What is your A? A, can you please help me? You have the matrix, right? 1 minus 2, 1. 1 minus 2, 1.
2 minus 3 minus 1.
2.
Minus 3 minus 1.
Okay, third row.
Minus 1 1 2. 3 5 0.
350. Into 7 by 3, 4 by 3, 1. This will be orthogonal projection. Please find this value. 7 by 3 minus 8 by 3 minus 1 by 3 plus 1, that is 2 by 3. 14 by 3 minus 12 by 3, 2 by 3 minus 1, so minus 1 by 3. 21 by 3 minus plus 20 by 3. 41 by 3, that's all. Hey, the solution will change, yeah. Not everybody will get the same solution. Can you say why? Because it depends upon the value of t that we have chosen. Might be here same, this will be the same. This you might have got the same. But this is different because I don't know what they have chosen here. 1 minute. Same thing, can you see? Same minus 8 by 3 plus 5, minus 5 by 3 plus 3t, everything is same. But here they have taken t as some other value. T as 0, I think, something like that they have taken. It's up to us to choose. Okay. So depending on that, your B, that orthogonal projection value will also change because it depends upon x0, right? Whatever least square solution you have chosen, it depends upon that. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
X0 is here, this one. This value 7 by 3. Suppose if you change the value of t, another x0 will come. So depending on that, that projection will come. So your projection value will also change. Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, can you just once explain how we wrote AX not?
AX0. So what is AX0? 1 minute here. See, this is one vector. So among the all vectors in this particular line, which vector will be close to this x0? Suppose this is your x0, one solution. It's actually a vector. Which is close?
It's projection.
It's projection. It's projection. You're right. So that concept I'm using and I'm doing. So AX not equal to BC. BC is nothing but orthogonal projection. Using that concept I'm doing this. So what is I'll go back to the question now. Read the question, I think you can understand. Determine the orthogonal projection BC of B into the column space of A. So that is nothing but A times X now.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, I'll stop here. It's time. I'll take the attendance. So tomorrow